When you think of World War II, what comes to mind? Maybe it's the roar of a P-51 Mustang overhead, or the imposing silhouette of a Sherman tank cresting a hill. But the Allied victory wasn't just won by the machines that fly and fight, it was won on wheels. From the front lines of Normandy to the supply routes of the Pacific, the United States deployed an incredible array of vehicles that formed the very backbone of the war effort. Today, we're rediving deep into the garage of the arsenal of democracy to explore every major type of U.S. vehicle that helped turn the tide of the Second World War. Let's start with the undisputed icon, the vehicle that could do it all, the Jeep, officially the Willys MB or Ford GPW. This little quarter-ton truck was the Swiss Army knife of the military. It served as a scout car, a command vehicle, a machine gun mount, an ambulance, and even a field tractor. Soldiers loved it for its rugged simplicity and its uncanny ability to go anywhere. More than 600,000 were built, becoming a symbol of American ingenuity and gun-aware spirit. If a single vehicle could represent the heart of the GI, it was the Jeep. But to move an army you need more than just Jeeps, you need trucks, big ones. The workhorse of the U.S. Army's logistics was the GMC CCKW, better known as the Deuce and a Half. This 2.5-ton 6x6 truck was the lifeblood of the Allied armies. It hauled everything: troops, ammunition, fuel, food, and supplies. It was the key vehicle in the famous Red Ball Express, the massive truck convoy system that supplied Allied forces in France after D-Day. Without the Deuce and a Half, the rapid advance across Europe would have been impossible. Over 500,000 of these were produced, forming an unending convoy to victory. Alongside the CCKW, you had its bigger brother, the Diamond T980, affectionately known as the M19 tank transporter. This wasn't just a truck, it was a beast. Its primary job was to haul disabled tanks off the battlefield or transport new ones to the front. Paired with a massive Rogers trailer, this combination could move a 45-ton load. Seeing one of these giants rumbling down a narrow European road, carrying a Sherman tank on its back, must have been an incredible sight, and a testament to the industrial power behind the front lines. Of course, we have to talk about the armored fighting vehicles, the tip of the spear. The M for Sherman was the most widely used American tank of the war. While often criticized for being outgunned by German Panther and Tiger tanks, the Sherman had its own advantages. It was mechanically reliable, easy to produce in vast numbers, and relatively fast. The U.S. produced nearly 50,000 Shermans in various models. Its sheer numbers often overwhelmed the enemy. A key variant was the Easy 8 Sherman with its improved suspension and more powerful 76mm gun, which helped level the playing field later in the war. Another famous version was the Sherman Firefly, a British modification with a potent 17-pounder gun that could knock out even the heaviest German armor. But the Sherman wasn't alone. Early in the war, the M3 Stuart light tank was a vital asset. It was fast and reliable, perfect for reconnaissance and infantry support, while its armor and 37mm gun were quickly outmatched on the main European battlefields. It served with distinction in the Pacific, where its smaller size was an advantage in the dense jungle terrain. The Stuart was later succeeded by the M24 Chaffee, a far superior light tank with a 75mm gun, sloped armor, and excellent mobility. The Chaffee arrived late in the war but set the standard for future American light tank designs. Now for the tank destroyers, a unique American doctrine. Instead of just building heavier tanks to fight other tanks, the U.S. created a specialized force of highly mobile, lightly armored vehicles with powerful guns. The idea was to seek, strike, and destroy enemy armor. The M10 Wolverine, built on a Sherman chassis, carried a 3-inch gun in an open-topped turret. It was effective, but the real star was the M18 Hellcat. The Hellcat was the fastest tracked armored fighting vehicle of the entire war, capable of hitting speeds over 50 miles per hour. It could quickly flank enemy tank formations, hit them hard with its 76mm gun, and then speed away. While its thin armor made it vulnerable, its speed was its ultimate protection. Let's not forget the vehicles that brought the infantry to the fight and supported them. The M3 half-track was everywhere. This versatile vehicle could be an armored personnel carrier, a mortar carrier, or a mobile anti-aircraft platform. It combined the cross-country performance of a tracked vehicle with the easier steering of a wheeled one. Over 40,000 were built in numerous variants, carrying American soldiers across every theater of the war, from the deserts of North Africa to the frozen forests of the Ardennes when stationary firepower was needed. Self-propelled artillery rolled onto the scene. The M7 Priest, another vehicle based on the Sherman chassis, mounted a 105mm howitzer. It gave infantry commanders their own mobile artillery on demand, perfect for blasting enemy bunkers and fortified positions. Its nickname, Priest, came from the pulpit-like machine gun ring on the side. They provided crucial fire support during the landings in Normandy and the brutal campaigns that followed. We also have the unsung heroes. Amphibious vehicles were critical for the island-hopping campaigns in the Pacific and the river crossings in Europe. The DUKW, or Duck, was a six-wheel drive amphibious truck based on the Deuce and a Half. It could drive right off a landing ship, swim to shore, and then drive inland to deliver supplies directly where they were needed, bypassing destroyed ports and beaches. Another key player was the LVT, or landing vehicle, tracked, known as the alligator or water buffalo. This amphibious tractor could crawl over coral reefs and swamps, delivering Marines and their equipment directly onto contested shores like Tarawa and Iwo Jima. Even smaller, specialized vehicles played vital roles. Motorcycles like the Harley-Davidson WLA were used by messengers and military police. Staff cars, often based on civilian models from Ford, Chevrolet, and Dodge, transported officers and staff between headquarters. Armored cars like the M8 Greyhound provided fast reconnaissance, using their speed and light cannon to scout ahead of the main force. The Greyhound was so successful it remained in service with some countries for decades after the war, from the tiny zippy Jeep to the colossal Diamond T-tank transporter. From the numerous Sherman tanks to the swift Hellcat tank destroyers, and from the amphibious Ducks to the ubiquitous half-tracks, every vehicle had a purpose. This incredible variety of machinery highlights the strategic thinking and industrial might of the United States. It wasn't just about having the biggest tank or the fastest plane. It was about creating a complete, mobile, and well-supplied military system capable of fighting and winning a global war. These vehicles weren't just steel and rubber, they were the engines of victory. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the American motor pool of World War II. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. Let us know in the comments which one of these classic war machines is your favorite. See you next time.